Hey guys,
Hi.
Right in the middle of the action here of Adventures in Babysitting. We need your funding if you want to see Miss Samantha here in action. Head over to the Patreon fund, and we will see you soon.
Yes,
Thanks.
then.
She can't wave. Thanks. Adventures in Babysitting is now available and on sale on Patreon.
I like your hair a lot better like this.
That's all?
Hi, hon. Want to see what I've been working on? I think the face could use a little work, don't you? Not too close. Drop it. Drop it!
You came for me.
You know what some wags call me? Slam the cat. Because I like to play with my victims first. Don't spoil the fun. Be a good boy, and I'll leave her alive. This time, I want you to think about it now. I bet you're thinking about it right now, aren't you? Ta-ta for now, kids.
Alright, so this is our first episode ever of the Kidnappers Corner recap, where
Yes.
I am taking Miss Samantha back through the history of some of our episodes and re-uploading some scenes in better quality and whatnot. A lot of the ones from our first 80 episodes, a lot of the scene footage was not very good, and I did when I first started the show, I did things a little differently, especially with this first scene, which is going to be the main highlight of this.
Okay.
This is basically this whole recap of this episode is everything we've done associated with Highlander. So,
Okay.
Highlander, the pilot episode of the TV show, is actually the very first episode of the Kidnappers Corner, where I did not have it all uploaded, like I said, in the high quality like I do now.
Okay.
And then there was a Highlander week, I believe. I want to say episodes 186 through 190. I want to say, and then well, that's something. Well, I never told you about the. There's another terminology thing I never told you about.
What?
The guy alert. What that is? That's when there's a guy tied up on screen.
Okay.
That the community kind of frowns upon.
Okay.
So.
Guy alert.
Yeah, they don't like that. So I went against the grain and ran 5
And you
weeks.
did it
I did a
anyways?
guy alert week, and I ran.
Maybe the girls liked it.
Yeah, I'm sure they. Well, no, a lot of people don't really care. Like,
No.
well,
No,
some people
they
do,
don't wanna see
some
guys
don't.
tied up.
Yeah, some don't, some do. Oops. So they, some people liked it, some people didn't. But The sidekick in this show, the guy, he's one of the biggest DIDs on the planet. So we had like 3 scenes. So that was the first one of the Guy Alert week. So there was that one plus 5 Highlander episodes plus the pilot. So really like 7 different episodes of the Kidnappers Corner for the show. So I gave her the little rundown from the animated episode, which covered so much. So
history of Highlander.
This scene right here, this is our first ever cartoon scene. And if they rewatch these episodes, then I can watch this whole thing. Like there's a ton of like the little sister there. Like she gets captured quite a bit. All hand gag scenes, basically. But this is like the only like real like full treatment scene where this girl gets the detective gag. Yeah. So
the miners have passed the west face.
I'm going to remove this, but if you make one sound...
Do what you want.
That's this one.
Okay.
And then I told you about missed opportunities before.
Yes.
The Highlander franchise had quite a few. The first movie, see this woman, the main female, she's, whoops, she gets her apartment broken into by this guy, and he kidnaps her, but just like makes her ride around a car with him. But then at the end of the movie, like the big showdown scene, it appears that her hands are tied to something like over her head, but then you don't see it again. Like it's kind of weird. And like she's just riding in the car with him. So
that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, like why she wasn't, had the full treatment at the end, I don't know. See, her hands are free.
She's everywhere.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I said, you can kind of like see her hands tied to something, but and then there's this horrendous thing in the middle of the series, the TV series. There was this is just a really god-awful thing right here, where he kills the bad guy and comes in and saves this woman. Now watch this.
Rachel?
That's the whole scene.
What?
Like that's it. Like and like like I don't know. Like that's the whole thing.
Is that even considered part?
Not really. It's a huge missed opportunity. Like I've ran a short but sweet week before, but that doesn't even qualify. Like that's
like seconds.
Yeah, that's the missed opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's the
Definitely
main two
see
from
that.
there. Then we have this scene.
Okay.
Give me all your money.
Right here. This is from the 6th season of Highlander, which actually had 2 full treatment scenes. Or was it? Yeah, so it just starts off. This woman's tape gagging in a warehouse, and the whole point of this 6th season was they were trying to have a spin-off of the show because they knew they were ending it. So they were trying to find a woman immortal to base the spin-off around. So like this woman here, they were like auditioning all these women to try and take this part. Like Sandra Hess, who was Sonya in the second Mortal Kombat movie, and also a DID from episode 17 of the Kidnappers Corner, the CSI New York home invasion. She was one of the women they tried running like a story through on this season, like several others. They were just trying to like find a woman. So this episode of the show has nobody in it from the actual show. Like it was like none of the characters from the show are in it at all, except it's the same concept of Highlander, just with these two, the husband and wife, and he's immortal, and he gets shot and killed. So his immortal wife is like heartbroken, and she's the main character. They were trying to audition her. I guess she was a front runner for it, and they ended up just going with the woman who was one of the main immortals in the show anyway, like a main character of the whole show. So the whole 6th season was like a big waste, like with these crap episodes. But this one had a decent DID scene. Like I said, this woman, they end up saving her. Yeah, other than that, there's only really like a few shots of her. But yeah, it was decent. The third one, let me see. Oh, this is the spin-off series that I mentioned in that video.
Right.
The terrible, and this is the final episode of it before it got canceled. This woman gets stuffed in a trunk. She's forced to be stuffed in a trunk, and then she's found at the end by this guy. And like, literally, this is it. Like, he opens the trunk, she's in there, and like, that's it. So
And takes her out and done.
yeah, it's about as worthless as the other one,
Right.
damn near. And
Oh, right,
this
yeah.
show was terrible. So that, I was just trying to do a Highlander week. I mean, I didn't have
Right.
much material. Then you had all the animated scenes. The main event for the Highlander week was this. This is a pretty good scene. I think this is also the 6th season.
Long time, Duncan. Look around you, McLeod. I told you I'd accomplish great things. You were wrong about me, McLeod, always.
Was I?
Who's hiding? I'm just setting the bait for the hunt. Allow me to introduce the Butchers of Bar. 57 successful kills. There's our friend from the States, Mr. William Robert Shent. He'll kill anything for a price. I mean, just ask his father. They're not for me, they're for you. In your world. In here, I write the rules, and they change with the game. Now today, it's hide and seek. You see, I hide this gorgeous young creature here, and you try to find her. Oh, now, where's the sport in that? Now, of course, while you're looking for her, my friends here...
We're running a little behind schedule.
This game's mine, Dice.
I say when and I say how.
Have 60 seconds to start running. 59. 5. 50.
He's like a crazy Bond villain.
Yeah. She has her.
She has been
Yeah.
in 2 of our episodes.
Okay.
She is an American actress who lives in France, who was in a French TV show, like a kind of famous soap opera called La Vacances de l'Amour. Her name's Rochelle Redfield. This show, Highlander would film half of its episodes a season in Canada, and then half of it in France all the time. He had a place in both. So this was filmed in France, and since she was working on that show in France, they got her to do it.
Okay.
So this scene's not too bad. He's like got this whole tower like set up with booby traps and stuff. Yeah, it's it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So that was the main event for that. But then episode 1 is the one we're really recapping here.
Okay.
This is the
Number 1.
opening scene
Okay.
from the first episode of Highlander.
The TV show.
Like, the series just really didn't deliver too much with DIDs. However, this first episode really set some high expectations, and then
And then
didn't.
that was it.
Yeah, for the most part, really until you get to season 6.
Not too close. Drop it. Drop it! You know what some wags call me? Slam the cat. Because I like to play with my victims first.
This guy was an interesting villain.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And I'll leave her alive.
The strange thing about him is that he's the very first villain in the TV series, but his name does not begin with K, which is very strange. All the Highlander villains, for the most part, the main ones, their names all begin with K in the
Really?
movies and the TV show.
Is that where you got it from?
Well, I did it for Mortal Kombat, because the combat in that is a K.
Right.
But at the same time, yeah, with me being kidnapped,
Yeah,
I'm also...
the K.
Yeah. And it's kind of strange that his name wasn't, but yeah, that's all the stuff with Highlander.
Okay.
And then, like I said, there was the Guy Alert week thing, but when we end up doing another one of those, we'll recap that whole Guy Alert week, so we'll run through it with that. But that's our, that's the first KK recap episode.
Yes, with Highlander.
So that's what we have there, and we will see you guys for our next recap. I don't know when I'm going to release these. Once a week, but I don't know what day. So see you guys soon.
See you.
Hi, hon. I think the face could use a little work, don't you? Not too close. Drop it. Drop it! You know what some wags call me? Slam the cat. Because I like to play with my victims first. Be a good boy, and I'll leave her alive. This time, I want you to think about it now. That's all for now, kids.
Click the cards on the screen to check out the trailers and previews, and to pick up Adventures in Babysitting on Patreon.